Hello, super deep divers. Welcome to another episode of Superhero Deep Dive. As always, I am your host, Jason. I have a pretty good show lined up for you. It's pretty interesting, and I have some disclaimers to get and an announcement to make. So let me get into all this. We'll get it knocked out. So, the information is pulled from different sources across the internet and may or may not be completely complete, but they do give a really good insight on the current superhero. Also, you can catch me every Tuesday and Thursday on Outward Fleet Radio. Their website is www.un-con-ventional.com/radio. You can catch me on Twitter and Instagram under Super Deep Dive, and I try to use the hashtag Superhero Deep Dive. You can email me directly at b4itall, so b4itall at yahoo.com. And you can catch me on YouTube every day, whether I like it or not, under Superhero Deep Dive, but I do like it. I post videos every day of, the podcast gets posted every week, the animal videos, superhero memes. I've started doing cosplay AI art showcases of various characters, and I'm growing that as I'm learning more about AI art. Regardless of your opinions of it, some people don't like AI art, some people do. I see it as another medium. I don't think it's going to be there long term, but at the same time, I'm finding interest in learning the process of it, and seeing where it goes. And I'm using free things like, I don't know the names of them. Let me see. Let me go to my internet browser. I guess like dreamlike.art, instantart.io, playgroundai.com. Nothing too big. I definitely think that there's more value in regular artists than AI art, but at the same time, learning the prompts and how they react to the engines, it's a process. There is definitely some kind of learning that's going on. But anyway, you can catch me on all of those. If you find me on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share, comment, critique, give requests for future episodes, leave fun facts that I may not get, all that good stuff. I love hearing from you guys. I have quite a active community. I get conversations back and forth. I get lots of emails back and forth, which is great. Also, announcement time. Yay! On Saturday, March 11th, in Bowling Green, Kentucky, at the National Corvette Museum. I am planning on being there as a guest with a couple other Talk Nerdy to Me Network hosts, like Coron and Flanagan from the Friends with Benefits podcast, which is my favorite podcast. Check them out. They're awesome. It's Friends with Benefits from the Talk Nerdy to Me Network. They're going to be there. We're going to be doing like live comedy shows. We're going to be doing interactive things with fans. I should be doing some interactive things with my fans on some live shows. So come out, meet me. It'll be fun. We'll have a good time. Maybe I'll have some stuff to give away. Possibly. I can look through some of my comics. I think it'd be fun. But yes, now that that's done, let's get into the actual show. Okay. So this week I am talking about Big Barda. She's pretty awesome. I don't think there's not a whole lot out on her, but it's pretty awesome. I think there could be more, and I think there should be more. Her real name is Barda Free. She is a member of the race known as the New Gods. And this is in the DC universe, and she was born on Apocalypse about 250 years ago. Her mother was Big Barda, which just sounds terrible, whom Barda was taken away from at an early age to be trained as a warrior at Granny Goodness's home for orphaned youth. This is where Granny Goodness grooms Barda to one day lead the Female Fury Battalion, which is a pack of warrior women. However, during a raid, Barda meets Scott Free, who's Darkseid's adopted son, and sensing a peace about him, falls in love. If scot-free sounds familiar, that's Mr. Miracle, which, maybe I will do a thing on him next week. You know what? While I'm here, and because I don't like doing multiple takes, I'm gonna put him on the list right now. He's going on the list. So, Mr. Miracle. Alright. That's done. We might do that next week. Anyways. Alright. So, Barda ends up risking her own safety to work with the rebel cell led by the new god Himon. Himon. I don't want to say the body part it sounds like. Let's say Himon. This comes directly after the murder of most of Himon's cell by the local authority, Wonderful Willicky. I don't know where they got these names from. These are absolutely terrible names. This includes one of Barda's people, Arali, who was tortured to death for dancing, a crime on Apocalypse. Moments later, Himon kills Willick with a bomb. Okay, that may be a little bit much, but okay. Barda, her Furies, Himon, and Metron help Scott escape Apocalypse. Darkseid himself calls for Scott to return, but doesn't actually stop him, as Scott's escape can reignite his war with New Genesis. New Genesis is kind of like the exact opposite of Apocalypse, and they were new gods as well. Now, Barda, not emotionally prepared to escape herself, stays behind. Eventually, Barda turns her back on Granny Goodness and comes to Earth. Once there, she finds that Scott has taken up the mantle of the escape artist Thaddeus Brown, aka Mr. Miracle, and has teamed with his diminutive manager, Oberon. Oberon and Barda become close friends, and for a while, Barda's Furies assist Scott in his showmanship efforts, but they return to Apocalypse by themselves. Scott and Barda are married by Scott's birth father, the High Father of New Genesis. Quick disclaimer, if I sound a little congested, I've been battling a sinus thing for the good part of a week, the majority of a week, and this is about as good as I'm going to sound right now. It's not going to get better before it's time for the podcast to come out, so I'm sorry but not sorry, because I want to get this out for you guys. Anyways, and disclaimer. For a number of years, Barda follows Scott and Oberon on tour. Eventually, they retire from superheroing and move to Bailey, New Hampshire. Because why not? Despite their best attempts, a normal life eludes them. Disasters plague them, and eventually Barda, Scott, and Oberon leave Bailey to move into a loft in Greenwich Village. Barda forms a defense training program for women called the New Female Furies. Though naive regarding Earth customs, Barda relishes her role of wife and housekeeper, but when duty calls, she never hesitates to assume the posture of a warrior. And when Scott joins the Justice League, Barda participates in several missions. In one instance, while training fire, her weapon, the Mega Rod, is stolen from her car. With the assistance of her husband and the Huntress, all these people I have done deep dives on. I've done deep dives on fire, I've done deep dives on Huntress. She gets it back, but not before many innocent people are killed by its wielder, who is unable to resist the corrupting influence of the apocalyptic technology. Barda also led a Justice League of America mission, so a JLA mission, to rescue her husband after he was lost in space. The mission was a result of Manga Khan selling Scott to Granny Goodness. Her teammates included Martian Manhunter, Rocket Red, and Gnort. Gnort is kind of like a dog man character. He's a Green Lantern, but he looks like he looks like a guy that's a dog. In an attempt to dissuade their successful pursuit, Manga Khan hired Lobo, paying him in dolphin feed to kill them. He almost does before Barda teleports him to a random location that being 10 feet behind Guy Gardner's skull. Okay. That's really random. The repercussions of that literal meeting of the minds would last for years. Okay, I still don't get it, and I read this before the podcast. I still don't get it, but it was part of the history, and there were so many important things leading up to it that I felt I couldn't just take it out. For a time, Barda mourned Scott, believing him slain in the battle with Despero, but it was a robot double that was destroyed, as part of a plan by Manga Khan. After their time with the Justice League International, the two leave Earth for New Genesis, but they soon return and take up temporary residence aboard the Justice League Refuge. During this period, the couple separate briefly due to Scott's lack of consideration for her feelings. Barda perishes but is reborn via Scott's temporary access to great cosmic power. Barda has served as a member of the JLA in her own right as well. At Tachyon's order, she and fellow new god Orion, or Orion, maybe, because that would make more sense than Orion, but there's so many eons there. Anyways, they were sent as agents of New Genesis to serve on the team. Tachyon predicted that the Earth faced a grave threat. Their mission is to help mobilize Earth's heroes against the omnipotent Mageddon. Over time, you know the funny thing about Mageddon is that he has 2 arms. So he's like dual Armageddon. Boom, boom. Sorry, that was a terrible joke, but it was there and I'd feel bad if I didn't take it. Anyways, over time, they became involved with other JLA missions. Adam Strange, needing help with an alien invasion, enslaves the JLA as part of a bluff. The League works for days, turning the planet into a giant teleportation beam. The aliens are then sent off to the prison planet of Takran Galtos, which Barda had mentioned several times during the ordeal. In another instance, Barda is badly wounded fighting the Queen Bee, a member of the newly reformed Injustice League. Once Mageddon is defeated, Barda and Orion resign from the JLA. Barda and Scott then reside in the suburbs of Connecticut and are active adventurers. Barda never hesitates to lend a hand to her friends when her power and expertise are needed. Barda accompanies Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman to Apokolips to rescue Supergirl from Darkseid's clutches, and accepts an invitation from Oracle to become the heavy hitter on the Birds of Prey. A similar looking character named Little Barda appeared as a member of the Teen Titans in the 52 number 21. This character leaves the group in the same issue. Her relationship to Big Barda is unknown, though she escaped from Apokolips with Power Boy. In a confrontation with the Secret Six, she engaged Knockout, another X-Fury, in hand-to-hand combat. Although the fight is long and continues in the midst of other larger concerns for her team, it ends in a draw. Big Barda is killed in the first issue of Death of the New Gods, and her funeral occurs in the second issue of the series. Infinity Man is later revealed as the killer. He had been slaughtering all of the New Gods in the name of restarting a new age of deities. In Final Crisis number 7, it depicts Barda standing alongside Lightray and Highfather in front of a reincarnated New Genesis. So they were obviously brought back. Didn't really say why. And in New 52, which is a 2011 reboot of the DC universe, Big Barda and Scott Free are seen on Earth too. They are later seen with many of the comrades in Supertown. Yeah, because that's a place too. Big Barda and Mr. Miracle are recruited by Batman to assist Los Angeles when flooding seawaters threaten all coasts. And there hasn't been much more after that. But that's her history. What do you guys think? There's not a lot, right? Like, there's not a lot to really dwell on. But I think we can do better. Let me get into her powers. Barda is a new god, a race of genetically enhanced beings who evolved godly abilities from their proximity to the Source. From what I understand, the Source is kind of like the center of the universe. This gives Barda a level of strength roughly parallel to Wonder Woman, as well as a high resistance to injury approaching invulnerability. She is similarly resistant to disease and most toxins. As a former female Fury trained by Granny Goodness, Barda is a master combatant in terms of swordsmanship and raw brawling, which in conjunction to her raw strength and grit make her an immediate match for Wonder Woman. In combat, Barda wears Apocalyptic battle armor, which enhances her already impressive durability. In addition, Barda manages a high-tech weapon called the Mega Rod. The weapon can create boom tubes for teleportation over long distances, propel her high into the air, and release energy blasts capable of bringing down such powerful beings as Superman. For a limited time, the Mega Rod can also increase the gravity force of an individual. You know, whenever I saw the Mega Rod, whenever I heard it called the Mega Rod, I kept thinking of this thing called the Bitch Be Cool Stick. What's a Bitch Be Cool Stick, you ask? Picture the Mega Rod. You smack someone with it and you go, bitch, be cool. That's what that is. That's the Mega Rod right there. I am officially renaming it as the Bitch Be Cool Stick, or the BB... No, I don't want to say that. I don't want to call it that. I'll let you guys finish that one. But those are her powers. Those are her powers. What are your opinions of her powers? Let me know in the comments. Like I said, you can catch me on Twitter and Instagram under superdeepdive, and I use the hashtag superherodeepdive. My DMs are always open. You can email me directly at b4itall, so b4itall at yahoo.com. And if you catch me on YouTube under Superhero Deep Dive, comment. What do you guys think? Leave me your opinions of her. But yeah, if you guys know fun facts about her, anything like that, comment, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Hit the notification bell. I don't know. I post all the time. And yeah, all that good stuff. If you have requests for future episodes, let me know. I'll add it to the list. But let me get into fun facts, and then we're going to do final thoughts. So, fun facts. Big Barda makes a cameo at the end of the second part of Superman the Animated Series episode Apocalypse Now. When Orion appears to declare Earth under the protection of New Genesis, she can be seen in the background as part of the defensive army. Big Barda also appears in the Batman Beyond episode, The Call. She is a member of the Justice League 40 years in the future, along with Warhawk, Superman, Cairo, Aquagirl, and others. At Superman's request, Batman investigates the members of the Justice League to find a traitor who has been trying to kill off the members one at a time. Barda at first does not trust Terry and treats him with nothing short of contempt, but after he saves her and the rest of the Justice League Unlimited from Starro, the one responsible for framing Superman for the attempted murders, he gains her respect and trust. Big Barda also appears in the Justice League Unlimited series, The Ties That Bind. In the episode, Granny Goodness kidnaps Oberon and forces Barda and Mr. Miracle to rescue Calabac from the clutches of Vermin Wunderbar. With the help of Flash, they rescue Calabac and trick Granny Goodness into revealing Oberon's whereabouts. After Oberon is safe, the couple leave Apocalypse, but not before Barda punches Granny Goodness in the face. Big Barda also appears in the teaser for the Batman Brave and Bold episode Last Battle on Earth. Mr. Miracle mentions her while he and Batman are chained to a death trap event for charity. She also has a non-speaking cameo appearance in The Siege of Starro, among the heroes possessed by Starro, and later she appears among the heroes that have already broken free from his mind control. Big Barda also appears in the DC Superhero Girls TV special, Superhero High. As a member of the Female Furies, Barda is summoned by Granny Goodness from Superhero High to help capture the powerful Amethyst and allow for Darkseid to conquer the planet. The Furies are eventually defeated by the combined efforts of the students and sent through a boom tube to Belle Reve. Big Barda shows an interest in leaving the Furies to attend Superhero High. Big Barda also appears in Justice League Action. In episode Under the Red Sun, she goes with Batman to find Superman, who was captured by Steppenwolf and brought him to a planet with a red sun. In It'll Take a Miracle, Barda, being Mr. Miracle's girlfriend, is captured by Darkseid in exchange for Mr. Miracle being brought by Batman. Let's see here. She also appears in Young Justice Outsiders, and in this continuity, she has not yet defected from the Furies. Big Barda also appears in the animated film Superman Batman Apocalypse, where she retains her characteristic muscular physique in her design, albeit less bulky and more slender, with softened and more feminine facial features. And as the former captain of Granny Goodness's Furies, Barda assists Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman in their mission to rescue Supergirl from Darkseid's brainwashing on Apocalypse. An alternate version of Barda appeared in Justice League Gods and Monsters as part of the New Genesis mission to murder the royalty of Apocalypse. Big Barda appeared in DC Superhero Girls Hero of the Year, Intergalactic Games, and Legends of Atlantis. Big Barda, along with Mr. Miracle, were scheduled to appear in a New Gods film directed by Ava DuVernay, originally with screenwriter Cario Salem, but Warner Brothers canceled the project. Let's see here. A statue of Big Barda is present at the Hall of Justice stage in Injustice Gods Among Us. And Big Barda appears in the online video game DC Universe Online in the DLC trilogy Halls of Power. In the downloadable content, Barda and Mr. Miracle lead the new heroes to the Necropolis to gather old gods' relics before Darkseid does. Only got a couple more. Big Barda appears as a playable character in LEGO DC Supervillains. Yeah. And Big Barda was the 76th issue in the DC Comics superhero collection. So she's been kind of put here in the background, here and there, through a lot of things. Excuse me. But what do you guys think? Like, I would love to know your thoughts on Big Barda. But let me give you my final thoughts. Now, Barda has always seemed like the hero that DC Comics made to be a copy of Wonder Woman. The only thing is they already had Wonder Woman in their ranks. Like they forgot about Wonder Woman or something. Or maybe what they did was use Wonder Woman as a base and then try to expand on her to make a new hero. Like they were kind of sitting around the table like, what if Wonder Woman was born on an apocalyptic world? Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, let's do that. But let's make it a new character. That way we still have the regular Wonder Woman to fall back on if we need to. But if you look, like, the original character design, she was big, she was bulky, so she was like a kind of a stronger version as far as physically looking. But she still had the black hair, Caucasian. I mean, they were drawn almost alike. I mean, it was so similar. Only whereas Wonder Woman wear like the kind of like a one-piece swimsuit kind of type outfit, Big Barda wore a whole bodysuit. I mean, that's really the only difference. And she carried the bitch be cool stick instead of a lasso. But I mean, their power sets, you know, the strength and stuff, very similar. Very, very similar. But anyways, what can we do with Barda? Like, I'd personally like to see her early adventures when she was in the Furies and really did damage. I want to see her training. I want to see how she was abused and battered. Because mainly through all that, she ends up rising past all of it and being a pretty heavy hitter in the process. So I want to see her trials leading up to the person she is. Because the one big disconnect I have with Big Barda is that she was a female Fury. She is a warrior. She's done all this stuff. But when it came time for her to just kind of like, they left and she became a housewife, she was fine with that. I want to see what led up to all that, because psychologically it doesn't make sense, but I would like to see it make sense, because I think there's a better history or a richer history than we've been given with this character, and I don't know why it hasn't panned out. I don't know why the powers that be haven't put her someplace, because I mean, the female Furies was Darkseid's honor guard, you know, so if anyone could help take down Darkseid, it'd be them, right? But they're so underutilized. She was able to defect, and you know they're coming after her for her defection. She's able to fight them off and live a life, and actually live a life. I want to know how she's able to do that. I want to know, how strong is she? If she were to go up against Darkseid, how much could she hold her own? Being one of his honor guard, to where if he doesn't want to get his hands dirty, he sends them. You know, how could she hold her own against him for any amount of time? It's hard to say, but if she could, what does that mean for her in relation to the rest of the universe, or the rest of the DC universe? Because, you know, Darkseid has thrown Superman around like nothing. It takes an army to bring down Darkseid. So if she can hold her own for any length of time, what does that mean as far as her holding her own against the likes of Superman? You know, like, there's a lot of things that are unchecked. And there's a whole lot of potential storylines where you don't have to ruin other characters to get them. But one of the things I always liked about her is that she has such an evil past. But I don't know if it was ever really touched on. I know it's been alluded to. But I want to see where there are people that are genuinely afraid of her because of what she did. Like have there been planets that Darkseid has conquered to where maybe she led the army to do that, and then there have been people that have fled to go to a different planet, like maybe a closer planet that Apocalypse hasn't touched, or maybe established a settlement on the moon or something, like, for that planet, something where they could be out of the way, but they are directly influenced by Barda. So they see her. What kind of terror would they have? Would they have PTSD? Would they ever be able to trust her, even though that's been a long part of her past? Like, that's been a long time ago. You know, it's questions like that could be answered. And they could be great stories from it. But I feel like right now, a lot of the stuff that has been alluded to with her just seems like a lot of talk, because, you know, nothing has been shown to my knowledge. If there has, let me know. Send me a message. Let me know in the comments on YouTube under Superhero Deep Dive. I would love to know. I would love to see artwork with this, like the comic panels and stuff. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But yeah, I would love to know where this stuff goes, because I have not seen someone that has been, to my knowledge, that has been put in such a position as Big Barda, as far as being like a heavy hitter, and like not been utilized to the point that she has. Like, she is just so thrown by the wayside, it's almost criminal. But like I said, let me know. You can reach out to me via email anytime at b4itall@yahoo.com. You can catch me on Twitter, Instagram. My DMs are always open under Super Deep Dive. You can catch me on YouTube under Superhero Deep Dive. Comment, like, subscribe, share. Put in requests, put in fun facts I may have missed, put in things about her that you may know that I may have missed that may help develop her character, because I was not able to pull a lot of information. I think there should be more. I think there should be a library based on her background, like, of things that could have been done. Or if you have other ideas for the character, I would love to hear them. But until then, guys, you know, I'm going to step away. I hope everyone is blessed. I hope everyone is happy. I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone is smart. But if you're not smart, don't get caught. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.